When interviewing for a job, hiring managers will assess your communication skills by asking how you handle issues, challenging situations, and your expectations for management's communication style. They will evaluate both your verbal and nonverbal communication. This includes how well you articulate your answers, your listening skills, and whether you interrupt or dominate the conversation. They will also observe your eye contact and body language to gain insight into your communication abilities. Today, we will explore 16 of the most common communication skills interview questions. For each one, I'll explain how to answer it and provide a sample answer you can customize and use during your interview. Question number 1. Describe a time when you had to explain a complex concept to a non-expert. How did you ensure they understood? This question assesses your ability to simplify complex information and communicate effectively with someone who may not have the same level of expertise. At my previous job, I had to explain how our new software system worked to employees with no technical background. I started by breaking down the process into simple steps and used everyday language instead of technical jargon. To make it even clearer, I used analogies related to tasks they were already familiar with. For example, I compared the software's data organization to a well-arranged filing cabinet, which helped them visualize how information was stored and retrieved. I also created visual aids like flowcharts and diagrams to show how different parts of the system are connected. Throughout the explanation, I paused frequently to ask if they had any questions and encouraged them to share any points of confusion. This way, I could address misunderstandings immediately. After my explanation, I gave them a hands-on demonstration. I allowed them to practice while I observed, providing feedback and answering questions in real time. This approach ensured they fully understood and felt confident using the new system. Question number 2. Can you give an example of a situation where you had to listen carefully and respond appropriately? This question evaluates your active listening skills and how well you can understand and react to what others are saying. In my previous role as a project manager, we had a critical client meeting to discuss the progress of a major project. During the meeting, the client expressed concerns about a particular aspect of the project that they felt was not meeting their expectations. I listened carefully to their detailed feedback, taking notes to ensure I captured all their points. After they finished speaking, I acknowledged their concerns and summarized what I had heard to confirm my understanding. I then explained the steps we were taking to address some of their issues. I proposed additional measures to meet their expectations fully. This approach reassured the client that their concerns were being taken seriously. It allowed us to move forward with a clear, mutually agreed upon plan of action. Question number 3. Which approaches do you use to build positive relationships with colleagues? Building positive relationships in the workplace relies heavily on how individuals interact with their team members, with open communication being essential. Can your candidates demonstrate their ability to foster positive relationships using effective communication skills? To build positive relationships with colleagues, I focus on open and honest communication, actively listening to understand their perspectives and concerns. I try to be approachable and supportive, offering help and encouragement whenever possible. I also prioritize collaboration, working together to achieve common goals and celebrating team successes. Respecting diverse viewpoints and showing appreciation for each colleague's contributions fosters a sense of belonging and mutual respect. Additionally, I believe in maintaining a positive attitude and being reliable, as trust and consistency are crucial for strong professional relationships. Question number 4. Tell me about a time when you had to resolve a conflict at work. How did you handle it? This shows your conflict resolution skills and ability to communicate effectively during disagreements. In my previous role as a project manager, I encountered a conflict between two team members with differing opinions on approaching a critical task. One team member preferred a traditional method, while the other advocated for a more innovative approach. The disagreement was causing delays and affecting team morale. I decided to address the issue head-on by organizing a mediation meeting. During the meeting, I encouraged both parties to express their viewpoints and concerns openly. I actively listened to their arguments and asked clarifying questions to understand their perspectives fully. Afterward, I facilitated a discussion to find common ground, highlighting the strengths of both approaches. We collaboratively developed a hybrid solution incorporating elements from both methods, satisfying both team members. This resolution resolved the conflict and led to a more efficient and creative solution. I also followed up with both individuals to ensure ongoing cooperation and prevent future conflicts. Question number 5. Describe a situation where you had to persuade someone to see things your way. What strategies did you use? This question allows the interviewer to gauge your persuasive communication skills and ability to influence others. In my previous role as a marketing coordinator, I had to persuade a client to shift from a traditional advertising strategy to a digital-focused campaign. The client was hesitant, preferring to stick with what had previously worked for them. To make my case, I presented detailed analytics showing the increasing trend of digital engagement in their target demographic. I also shared successful case studies from similar businesses that had transitioned and saw significant growth. Additionally, I arranged a meeting with a digital marketing expert to address their concerns and answer any questions. By providing clear data, real-world examples, and expert reassurance, I convinced the client to adopt the new strategy, which ultimately led to a substantial increase in customer engagement and sales. Question number 6. How do you ensure clear communication within a team? Can you provide an example? This question examines your methods for maintaining clarity and understanding in team communications. To ensure clear communication within a team, I prioritize regular and structured meetings where everyone can voice their ideas and concerns. For instance, as a project manager, I implemented weekly check-ins where each team member updated the group on their progress, any obstacles they faced, and their plans for the coming week. This kept everyone informed and fostered a collaborative environment where issues could be addressed promptly. Additionally, I used project management tools like Trello and Slack to maintain transparency and allow for continuous communication. By keeping all communication channels open and encouraging team members to share their input, I ensured everyone was on the same page and minimized any potential misunderstandings. Question number 7. Give an example of a time when you had to provide feedback to a colleague. How did you approach it? This question assesses your ability to give constructive feedback in a respectful and effective way. While working as a sales manager, I noticed one of my team members struggled with their sales pitch. I invited them for a coffee chat outside the office to make the conversation less formal. I praised their effort and dedication first, then gently pointed out the areas for improvement in their pitch using constructive criticism. I shared some techniques and offered to role play with them to practice. The informal setting and supportive approach made the feedback more palatable, and over time, their sales performance significantly improved. Question number 8. Tell me about a time when you had to communicate a complex message. How did you handle it? This question examines your ability to handle and communicate sensitive information appropriately. There was a time I had to communicate to a client that our team would not meet the agreed-upon deadline due to unforeseen technical issues. Understanding the potential impact on our client's operations, I arranged a meeting to discuss the situation in person. I started by acknowledging the importance of the project to their business and explained the specific challenges we encountered. I then presented a revised timeline and detailed our steps to ensure the new deadline would be met. I emphasized our commitment to quality and offered additional support to mitigate any inconvenience caused by the delay. The client appreciated our transparency and proactive approach, which helped maintain a positive working relationship. Question number 9. What is your approach when receiving feedback you disagreed with? How would you respond? This question evaluates your openness to feedback and ability to respond constructively, even when disagreeing. When receiving feedback that I disagree with, I first listen attentively and understand the perspective of the person giving the feedback. I acknowledge their points and thank them for their input, as I believe every feedback is valuable for growth. If I still disagree, I seek an open and respectful dialogue to clarify misunderstandings. For example, in my previous role, I received feedback that my project proposal was overly ambitious and lacked feasibility. Initially, I disagreed, believing it to be achievable. However, I took the time to understand the concerns based on resource limitations. After the discussion, I adjusted my proposal to be more realistic while maintaining its core objectives. This approach addressed the feedback and demonstrated my willingness to collaborate and adapt. Now, before we continue, check out these awesome videos. I have posted the links to them in the description below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more great videos posted every single week. Question number 10. How do you adapt your communication style when working with different personalities? This question assesses your flexibility and ability to tailor your communication to different individuals. Adapting my communication style when working with different personalities involves understanding and respecting individual differences while maintaining clarity and effectiveness. I start by observing and listening to understand each person's preferred communication style, whether they are more direct or indirect, detail-oriented or big-picture thinkers. For example, I focus on being clear and to the point with someone who prefers concise, straightforward communication. Conversely, I provide thorough explanations and background information for someone who appreciates more detail and context. I also adjust my nonverbal cues, such as tone of voice and body language, to match the comfort level of the person I'm communicating with. I also try to build rapport and trust by showing empathy and being open to feedback, which helps create a more collaborative and productive working relationship. This flexibility ensures that my message is received and understood effectively, regardless of the personality I'm interacting with. Question number 11. Can you provide an example of a successful presentation you gave? What made it effective? This question gauges your public speaking skills and ability to deliver a clear and engaging presentation. I once delivered a successful presentation on implementing a new customer service strategy at our company. The goal was to enhance customer satisfaction and streamline our service processes. To make the presentation effective, I focused on a few key elements. First, I thoroughly researched and gathered data to support the need for the new strategy, including customer feedback and industry benchmarks. This helped establish the importance of the changes and provided a solid foundation for my arguments. I structured the presentation, starting with an overview of the current challenges, followed by the proposed strategy, and concluding with the anticipated benefits. Each section was concise and logically connected, making it easy for the audience to follow. I use visual aids like charts and graphs to illustrate key points and make the data more engaging. These visuals helped break up the text and kept the audience's attention. Throughout the presentation, I maintained eye contact, used positive body language, and spoke clearly and confidently. I also encouraged questions and feedback, fostering an interactive environment. Finally, I concluded with a compelling call to action, emphasizing how the new strategy would positively impact the company and its customers. The presentation was well received, and the strategy was successfully implemented, leading to a noticeable improvement in customer satisfaction. Question number 12. How would you approach a situation where you had to communicate something under pressure? What steps would you take? This question examines your ability to maintain clear communication even in stressful situations. In a high-pressure situation where I need to communicate effectively, I would take several steps to ensure clarity and composure. First, I would take a moment to gather my thoughts and focus on the key message I need to convey. Staying calm is crucial, so I would practice deep breathing to maintain my composure. Next, I would prioritize the most critical information and structure my communication clearly and concisely. I would ensure I am direct and to the point, avoiding unnecessary details that could confuse the message. Active listening is also important, so I would pay close attention to any feedback or questions, responding thoughtfully and thoroughly. I would maintain steady eye contact and a calm tone throughout the communication to project confidence and reassurance. Finally, I would follow up after the initial communication to address any concerns and confirm understanding, ensuring the message was received as intended. Question number 13. How do you handle misunderstandings in the workplace? This interview question assesses your problem-solving skills and your ability to clarify and resolve misunderstandings. When handling misunderstandings in the workplace, I first strive to remain calm and composed to prevent the situation from escalating. I initiate a private conversation with the involved parties to understand their perspectives fully. Active listening is crucial at this stage, allowing me to grasp the root of the misunderstanding without making assumptions. I encourage open dialogue, where everyone can express their views and concerns without interruption. Once all sides are heard, I work collaboratively to identify common ground and clarify any miscommunications. I emphasize finding a mutually acceptable solution and ensuring everyone leaves with a clear understanding of the agreed-upon resolution. To prevent future misunderstandings, I advocate for clear, concise communication and regular check-ins to promptly maintain alignment and address any emerging issues. Question number 14. Tell me about a time when you had to use written communication to convey an important message. What was the outcome? This question evaluates your written communication skills and how effectively you can communicate important information in writing. In my previous role, I was responsible for communicating a significant policy change regarding remote work to the entire organization. The new policy included revised guidelines and expectations, and it was crucial for all employees to understand and adhere to it. To ensure clarity, I wrote a detailed email outlining the reasons for the change, the new procedures, and the benefits it would bring both employees and the company. I included a preemptive FAQ section to address potential questions and concerns. Before sending the email, I collaborated with HR to ensure the message was comprehensive and aligned with company policies. After distributing the email, I received positive feedback for its clarity and thoroughness. There was a noticeable improvement in adherence to the new policy, and employees appreciated the transparent communication. The successful implementation of the policy through effective written communication demonstrated the importance of clear, concise, and considerate messaging in organizational change management. Question number 15. How do you ensure that your body language matches your verbal communication? This interview question examines your awareness of nonverbal communication and its impact on your message. To ensure that my body language aligns with my verbal communication, I maintain a conscious awareness of my physical expressions during interactions. I focus on maintaining open and inviting gestures such as uncrossed arms and a relaxed posture to convey openness and receptivity. Eye contact is crucial. I try to look directly at the person I'm speaking with, which shows attentiveness and confidence. My facial expressions are equally important, so I use smiles and nods to show understanding and agreement. I also pay attention to the tone and pace of my speech, ensuring they match the emotions I intend to convey. By mirroring the other person's body language, I create a sense of rapport and empathy. Regular self-reflection and feedback from colleagues help me continuously improve this alignment, ensuring that my nonverbal cues consistently reinforce my verbal messages. And finally, question number 16. Describe a time when you had to communicate a change to a process or procedure. How did you ensure everyone understood and accepted the change? This question looks at your ability to manage change communication and ensure buy-in from your audience. In a previous role, I had to communicate a significant change to our project management process due to implementing a new software tool. To ensure everyone understood and accepted the change, I began by organizing a team meeting where I clearly explained the reasons behind the switch, highlighting the benefits such as improved efficiency and better tracking of project progress. I provided a detailed demonstration of the new tool. I offered hands-on training sessions to help team members get comfortable with it. I also created a comprehensive guide and made myself available for any questions or concerns. Throughout the transition, I maintained open lines of communication, regularly checking in with the team to address any issues promptly. By involving everyone in the process and providing continuous support, I was able to foster a positive attitude towards the change and ensure a smooth transition. If you want to learn more on how to land jobs and reach your career goals, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button to get new videos every single week. Also, don't forget to hit that like button because that motivates me to keep doing what I do. Stay safe, keep smiling, and good luck.